Ananda walked under the canopy of the Bodhi tree. His heart weighed down with sorrow and confusion. He bowed before the Buddha and hesitated to speak, his pain creating a barrier between his thoughts and words. Blessed One, my trust has been shattered by betrayal, and I cannot see a path to rebuild it, Ananda said. The Buddha looked at him with gentle compassion, the glow of wisdom illuminating his serene countenance. He gestured for Ananda to sit, placing his palm against the cool bark of the ancient tree's trunk. Ananda, you are not alone in your suffering. Betrayal is a sharp thorn that many have encountered, said the Buddha. To understand trust's path, you must first turn inward and recognize the cracks left by betrayal, he continued. The disciples gathered quietly, drawn by the soft yet resolute voice of the Blessed One as he began. Long ago, there was a potter who crafted vessels that captivated all who looked upon their beauty, Buddha said. Among his creations, he had one pot he favored above all others, a symbol of his mastery and joy. One day, a violent storm swept through his village, and the pot fell, shattering into countless fragments, he said. The potter sat before the broken pieces, despair consuming his heart, but resolve flickering like a single flame. He could have discarded the fragments and mourned the loss, but instead he gathered them with tender care. With gold, the potter began to mend each crack, filling the gaps with the radiant beauty of patience and effort. When the vessel was whole again, it glowed with lines of gold, its beauty surpassing the form it once held. Trust, Ananda, is like that vessel. When broken, it appears irreparable, but it can be stronger with thoughtful mending. The gold represents patience, effort, and courage, the essence of restoring what has been shattered in your heart. Ananda's gaze softened as he listened, his mind expanding with the parable's profound truth and possibility. But Blessed One, he asked, how does one begin the process of repairing trust when pain blocks the way? The Buddha paused, allowing silence to nurture reflection before answering Ananda's earnest and vulnerable question. The first step to restoring trust is to acknowledge the cracks and the pain that betrayal has inflicted upon you. Without acknowledgement, the cracks deepen and harden, creating barriers that prevent the light of restoration from entering. You must learn to sit with your pain, not to judge it, but to understand its origin and nature. To mend trust, you must face your pain as the potter faced the shattered vessel's fragments, he explained. The process is not swift, nor is it easy, but the path to peace begins in courageous honesty. Ananda bowed his head and murmured, the journey you describe seems daunting, but I understand its necessity. The Buddha's eyes reflected warmth and encouragement as he continued to illuminate trust's intricate and fragile nature. Within each crack lies an opportunity for growth. For every scar carries the wisdom of its creation, Buddha said. To restore trust, you must also cultivate forgiveness, not solely for others but for the wounds you carry within. Forgiveness softens the edges of betrayal's pain, allowing the seeds of hope and understanding to grow in your heart. Ananda, as the vessel cannot hold water while broken, neither can your heart carry trust without repair. Forgive yourself for your fears, doubts, and mistrust, for they are natural companions on this journey, Buddha advised. Then, extend forgiveness outward, not as absolution, but as liberation for the shackles of resentment and bitterness. You will discover that trust is not a transaction but a gift bestowed upon the deserving and nurtured with care. Ananda, the vessel becomes more beautiful not only with gold but with the life it holds within, Buddha said. Trust is beautiful when shared, but shared trust demands the wisdom to discern those who cherish it, he explained. The sun began to set behind the Bodhi tree, its rays casting golden light upon the gathered disciples. Ananda wiped his eyes, feeling a glimmer of relief in the presence of the Buddha's clarity and compassion. Blessed one. Your words have given me courage to face my pain and begin mending my heart, Ananda said. The Buddha's serene smile conveyed a knowing joy. His teachings sowing the seeds of trust's path among his disciples. Remember, Ananda, the journey is yours, but you are never alone. The light within guides you toward truth. Ananda rose and bowed deeply. The weight of despair lifted just enough for hope to grow in its place. The disciples departed slowly, carrying the lesson of trust's restoration into their lives and hearts beyond the Bodhi tree. The Buddha remained under the tree, his heart attuned to the silent song of renewal that filled the atmosphere. Another day, Ananda returned to the Bodhi tree, his heart still burdened by doubts that weighed heavily upon his spirit. He bowed before the Buddha, his expression seeking solace and guidance that only the enlightened one could offer. Blessed one. I have begun to face my pain, yet I find myself trapped in the shadows of mistrust, said Ananda. The Buddha looked upon Ananda with calm understanding, his eyes reflecting the depths of compassion and infinite wisdom. Ananda, trust is like a mirror. Its clarity reflects the truth, but smudges can obscure its surface, Buddha said. The disciples gathered once more, their curiosity piqued by the teachings they knew would resonate deeply in their hearts. Imagine a mirror held before you, showing not your image but the thoughts and emotions dwelling within, said Buddha. If you see a blemish, do you shatter the mirror, or do you wipe it clean with deliberate care? He asked. To restore trust, you must hold a mirror to your heart and see clearly what clouds its reflection, Buddha continued. The smudges are born of fear, resentment, and doubt, each clinging to the surface and distorting what lies beneath. To begin, you must sit with the mirror, unafraid of what you might see in its polished surface, said Buddha. He paused, allowing his words to seep into the minds of the disciples. Like seeds into fertile soil, Ananda, I will tell you a story of a farmer who faced a parched well and empty fields, Buddha began. The farmer relied on this well, which had always provided fresh water for his crops and his household, he said. One summer, the well ran dry, leaving the farmer distraught and uncertain of how he would sustain his life. Instead of despairing, he decided to dig deeper, removing the stones and dirt that blocked the hidden spring beneath. With each scoop, he uncovered fresh water, a source purer and more abundant than he had ever imagined, Buddha said. Like the farmer, you must dig deeper into your heart, uncovering the spring of purity buried beneath your doubts. Each stone you remove represents a thought or feeling that has obscured the flow of trust and connection, he explained. Do not fear the labor, for each effort reveals the strength within you and the clarity of your intentions. Ananda closed his eyes, reflecting on the metaphor of the mirror and the spring, feeling their resonance deeply. Blessed one, I understand the need to look inward, but I still hesitate to trust others who may harm me again. The Buddha nodded, acknowledging Ananda's vulnerability and the sincerity of his question, which echoed in the hearts of others. Ananda, trust is a gift, and like any gift, it should be given with thoughtfulness and discernment, Buddha said. Observe those who seek your trust. Their actions and intentions are the soil in which your gift must be planted. Trust is not blind nor reckless. It is the careful nurturing of a seed in fertile and honest ground, he explained. Ananda, I will share another story to guide your understanding of trust in others and its prudent application, Buddha said. There was once a young woman who cultivated a beautiful garden, full of vibrant flowers and flourishing plants. He began. One day, a neighbor admired her garden and offered her a sapling, promising it would bear sweet, nourishing fruit. The woman planted the sapling, but she observed its growth carefully, tending it with love and noting its every change. she discovered that the sapling bore fruit as promised. Yet she also found thorns among its branches, said Buddha. With her wisdom, she learned to harvest the fruit carefully, taking nourishment while avoiding harm. He explained, Ananda, trust is like tending that sapling. It requires care, vigilance, and acceptance of both its fruit and its thorns. You cannot guarantee others will never hurt you, but you can observe and discern before placing your trust in them. Trust must grow like a garden, nurtured with understanding and protected from the weeds of deceit and betrayal, Buddha said. The sun shone through the leaves of the Bodhi tree, casting patterns of light and shadow across the gathering. Ananda opened his eyes, his heart embracing the Buddha's words, their clarity piercing the fog of his uncertainty. Blessed One, your teachings help me see that trust is neither fragile nor infinite. It is a balance of wisdom. The Buddha smiled gently, recognizing the progress Ananda had made in understanding trust's complexities and its path to restoration. Ananda, the mirror reflects your heart's truth, and the spring flows when cleared of stones. Trust begins within. As you nurture trust in yourself, you will see more clearly those who are worthy of the gift you bestow. Walk this path with care, and let the light of your intentions guide you toward the purity of renewed trust. The disciples bowed deeply, the weight of the Buddha's words settling into their hearts as a lasting lesson. The teachings spread among them, each person reflecting on their own struggles and the paths they must forge within. The Buddha sat in quiet meditation, the ripples of his wisdom resonating far beyond the shade of the Bodhi tree. Another day, Ananda approached the Buddha once more, his eyes reflecting a newfound determination tempered by lingering questions. He bowed deeply, seeking wisdom to guide him further along the path of rebuilding trust and understanding. Blessed One, I have looked within and observed others with care. Yet trust still feels fragile and incomplete, Ananda said. The Buddha listened patiently, his presence a calming balm to the restless heart of his earnest disciple. Ananda, trust is a journey, not an object. It evolves through practice, like the muscles of a craftsman, Buddha said. The disciples gathered silently, their anticipation heavy with the reverence they held for the Blessed One's teachings. To strengthen trust, Ananda, one must walk the path deliberately and without haste. For trust is a rhythm of life, Buddha continued. Allow me to share a story of a weaver who learned patience, dedication, and faith through his craft. He began. There was once a man known for weaving fabrics so fine they seemed like whispers of the wind. Buddha said, to create such beauty, he chose only the strongest threads and worked with utmost care, one strand at a time. Day by day, his loom echoed in his quiet home, its sound a hymn to his focused diligence. Buddha narrated. One day, his thread broke, and the fabric tore. He sat silently, staring at the ruined work before him. Instead of despairing, he unraveled the fabric to its beginning and started anew, weaving with even greater intention. Buddha explained. Ananda, trust is like the weaver's fabric. When it frays, it must be rewoven with deliberate care and steady hands. To rebuild trust, each thread must be chosen with patience, woven through shared experiences and acts of honesty. He said, trust becomes strong not through perfection but through persistence, the ability to mend what frays and continue weaving, Buddha taught. Ananda absorbed the story, his mind turning its meaning over, finding resonance in its simplicity and depth. Blessed One, I see the need for persistence. But how does one nurture trust so it can grow steadily? He asked. The Buddha smiled, appreciating Ananda's unwavering curiosity and his desire to seek understanding in its fullest form. Ananda, to nurture trust, you must embrace kindness, not as a fleeting gesture but as a foundation of relationships. Buddha said. Kindness is like sunlight to a sapling. nourishing its growth and helping it reach toward the infinite sky, Buddha explained. But kindness must be paired with boundaries. For even sunlight can scorch a plant if offered without measure or care, he said. Ananda, I will tell you of a merchant who learned the balance between generosity and self-preservation. Buddha continued. This merchant sold grain in his village, ensuring no family went hungry. But he also safeguarded his future stores. One season, a great famine struck, and the villagers came to him, desperate for the grain he had saved. He distributed the grain fairly, refusing greed or waste, ensuring that no one starved, yet preserving enough to sow again. From his kindness, the village thrived once more. And from his wisdom, the future was secure for all, Buddha said. Kindness without wisdom can harm as much as neglect. Nurture trust with compassion while protecting its delicate balance, Buddha advised. Ananda nodded slowly, the teachings filling the gaps in his understanding like water seeping into the roots of a tree. Blessed One, I understand now that trust is not a single act but a tapestry woven with many threads, Ananda said. The Buddha's serene expression reflected the quiet joy of a teacher whose student begins to see the path clearly. Ananda, trust requires patience, courage, and hope. These virtues are the guiding stars of the journey you undertake, Buddha said. Each moment of forgiveness, each act of honesty, and each step taken with care strengthens trust's fragile yet enduring foundation, he explained. As the weaver crafts his fabric, as the sapling reaches for the sun, as the merchant feeds his village, so must you. The Buddha's words hung in the air, their truth resonating deeply within the hearts of Ananda and the gathered disciples. Blessed One, your teachings are a lantern in the darkness, guiding my steps toward trust and the peace it brings, Ananda said. The Buddha placed his hand over his heart, his gesture radiating warmth that seemed to envelop all who witnessed it. Ananda, trust is not the absence of fear, but the presence of courage. Walk your path with steadfastness and grace. The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts carrying the Buddha's wisdom like seeds scattered to fertile ground. Ready to grow, the Bodhi tree stood tall, its branches swaying gently, as if in agreement with the profound teachings shared beneath its shade. The Buddha closed his eyes in silent meditation, the ripples of his words spreading to unseen corners of the world. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.